Hi, all. I'm Cullen Haynes, and welcome to Law Live. Got a very special guest here for you today. One of the only fintech barristers I know at the bar, at least the most leading and prolific. 12 years in the legal profession, has been a barrister since 2019, and founded Rightful to change the way law is practiced. Can you please make very welcome the one, the only, Mr. Christopher Dobbs. How are you, Chris?
Thank you, Cullen. Happy to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure, my friend. And we're talking offline. You have got a lot of things going on in your circle of influence right now. My goodness, you're balancing a busy bar practice with a new company called Rightful. What is happening in your circle of influence right now?
Yeah, as you said, doing both of those things at once, but I see them as sort of related because I'm practicing as a barrister, but I'm also getting the chance to work on legal projects through the platform and things like that. So they're sort of, they are separate as they should be, but in my head, sometimes I see them as related.
No, it is true. Do you find that Rightful will be able to help yourself and other colleagues at the bar?
I do. I believe that we're at a pivotal point in the legal profession where things are changing and that change is accelerating. Technology is coming into the fore. And if you look at the last 30 years, there's been so many changes in many areas, from moving into more alternative dispute resolution and just basically changes in the way we do the office, for example. Everyone's doing remote work and things like that. And those structural changes are impacting on the bar and impacting on the way we do legal projects. So that's really what Rightful's all about.
Okay, and we'll dive into that. We've got a bit of time to flesh out what Rightful is. We'll have a bit of a look through the platform. But how would you describe your life so far using just film titles, my friend?
Ooh, I'd say the firm and social network.
Well, yeah, that very apt, because you did work at a firm for a good few years before you joined the bar. Like, how did you find that?
Well, I worked for I worked at a few firms, but the very first firm I worked at was a guy by the name of Derek Zeman, and he's been at the bar for a very long time. And he such a character, and I learned quite a lot from him. Just thick South African accent, charismatic. It was baptism by fire. Like if I had any problems in my advices, he would let me know in no uncertain terms. So it was good. I mean, I got a lot of really good experience. Yeah.
Oh, it's baptism under fire, like in the thick of it, in the deep end. Well done. And obviously the social network, you've got a real interest in programming and IT, and that's kind of what's fostered Rightful.
Yes. Yeah, I worked on tech projects at the ASIC, and one of the things I did was roll out their IPO software, Clause Bank, for about 90 users, and that took about 2 years, and it was incredibly difficult, but it gave me a sense of the capacity for technology to influence the way we do business of law and change the way we do the business of law. So that's what really inspired me to create something after I quit that and started at the bar.
Makes sense. And I would encourage everyone, it's 12:02 Australian Eastern Standard Time. If you've got any questions that you'd like to throw this juggernaut, please put them in the comments, because we can ask Chris in real time. Edward Zia, regular of the show, said, "Brilliant, big man." So thank you, Ed. And KL News has said hi. Thank you, KL News. I think that was wonderful. We're spurred on.
Okay.
We're ready to go. But how does it feel to be Australia's leading fintech barrister?
Well, it feels good. I didn't know it was leading fintech barrister. I'm sure some might take issue with that categorization, but as long as I'm leading in your guide, Cullen, I'm happy.
That's it. It's not the Doyle's guide, it's the Cullen guide. And whatever I say on LinkedIn goes.
Well,
I'll
your
start,
work
I'll start an
and
awards night, and I'm sure there'll be Cullen Awards that people will be hashtag humbled, hashtag teamwork, hashtag can't believe it that I got leading barrister or leading award. But nonetheless, you said before that law needed a shake-up. What is it about the law that needed a shake-up, and how does Rightful help?
yeah, so whew, you know when you know a lot about a topic and it's like, where do you start? There's just so much to talk about. I think law is fun, but the business of law isn't very fun. And
No.
so I think the problem is that often we focus on law itself instead of the way we practice law. That's really the problem, is that there's all these great technologies coming into the fore. Clients are asking for change, lawyers are asking for change, but we tend to assume that because we've done things a certain way for a long time, that's the correct way to do it. So really the shake-up that needs to happen is that we need to understand all of these new technologies that are coming out, and we need to understand how they can be used in law, and then we need to apply them, because they do have a great capacity to make our lives better for clients, more transparency, more lower overheads, things like that. At the same time, they have a great capacity for lawyers to enjoy their work more, to work more collaboratively, and basically not burn the midnight oil, so to speak.
We definitely don't want that. We definitely don't want that. And I welcome you. If you want to share your screen, Chris, you can show us a little bit about what the Rightful platform looks like, and tweak some and pique some interest of our viewers watching. We've already got a few on the stream and people rewatching. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll upload it to the podcast later. But yeah, feel free to share your screen. We'll go through it.
So this is Rightful. It's a legal platform for barristers, solicitors, and paralegals. And it's more than just a simple legal marketplace. I'd actually call us a legal ops company, in the sense that we're building the technology to fix pain points between lawyers and clients. So if you look here, for example, we have a marketplace where you can set up your own profile, hang a shingle and say what your rates are. People can book time in your diary, upload a brief, for example. They can click into your profile and see.
Shout out to Noura.
Yeah, Nora's great. Have you met her before?
No, I haven't, but I wanted to give us some credence on the show right now, for sure.
Total powerhouse. We've got some really great people that have been joining up.
I see Stephanie Costi and Charlene Lee. Very good. Great people.
Yep. Claudia, she's great. And yeah, so people can book time in your diary. You can manage all your appointments this way. We've got a fully integrated chat feature, calendars, legal projects, which I won't show on the stream, but they're really useful for file sharing. So these days, what I'm finding is that a lot of the projects I'm working on might have a barrister in Melbourne, I'm in Sydney, I might have a paralegal at another part of the country. And there's just no tech that really helps us to work together. So that's what we're doing, is we're trying to stitch people together using tech, using collaborative technology, and get rid of the friction and pain points that exist currently. Yeah, there's a lot of other features as well. We've got case charts. If you want to scope a legal matter, here's an example.
Great.
Yeah, so there's many other things, but I'll stop sharing for now. There we go.
Illuminating, Chris. And what obviously specificity, it does a lot of things. What would you say Rightful is known for that, like, most people come out and go, oh, I got to use that? like the one thing? I know it does a lot of things, but what's the main thing that people gravitate towards it for?
Yeah, I think it's ease of use, the ability to easily find people you need for a particular legal project. Like I've often got, say, a solicitor needing help on their matters. They can't find someone, so they'll book time in one of the people's diaries on the platform.
Yes.
Share the work, and all before you know it, they're working and they're collaborating together in a new and different way. And you know, I've never had a bad review from someone on the platform. All the reviews have been extremely positive. So that's one of the main ways people are using it now, that if they have overflow work, they'll find someone on the platform. They'll, you know, but that said, there's lots of other uses that people are using it for as well. And we're starting to get quite a lot of different specialties as well. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Like different diversifications in there as well. You're doing a lot with Rightful, my friend. So let me ask you, how do you balance a busy barrister practice with this growing platform that is Rightful?
Yeah, good question. I see them as related. So I guess if you want something done, give it to a busy person. That's the typical phrase. The balance is simply, there's a lot of freedom when you work for yourself, because when you work for yourself as a barrister, you can take on the work that you want to do, but then you can also focus on your interests. You can progress things. Like I like to test out my coding a bit like this, manage my team. Yeah, I don't know. I think part of it might be some of the tech that we've implemented. So we think very long and hard about how projects can be more efficient and faster, and what tech we need to get there, from the use of collaborative documents to easy briefing to the way we're communicating. It's all been thought through very carefully. And I think that helps me to, do both things, manage practice and work on Rightful.
Fantastic. That's great. Great. Any other passion projects you're working on right now, either in Rightful or outside of Rightful?
Oh, trying to finish my house.
There's a lot going on there, huh?
Trying to finish my house. I think I bit off too much more than I can chew there, though. We've got to finish the downstairs. Might hit you up later about how to do that.
Oh, we're here for you. Don't worry. There's a lot of people that bit off more they can chew, especially when rates were lower 2 or 3 years ago. And now the chickens are coming home to roost, as it were, with all the fixed rates coming off. But nonetheless, it's positive news in the market now. Properties are meant to go up 10% this year. I think the most of the pain has been experienced. 3 rate pauses, hopefully no more rate rises to come, and we should see rates coming down mid to late next year. That'd be nice.
Fingers crossed, Cullen.
I've got all fingers crossed and my toes as well, my friend. What would you like to see change in law right now? Obviously, you're trying to change things with Rightful, but what's one thing that's a big bugbear for you that you'd like to maybe see a shift in paradigm?
Well, to build new things in law, you have to have really thick skin, because lawyers have a natural cynicism that comes into anything that's new or different. And, you know, that's what clients pay for. They pay lawyers to be cynical about things. And, you know, I'm cynical myself, so I completely get it. But it would be nice if there was, you know, and I'm starting to see this, which is really exciting, is just a sense of optimism about all the changes that are happening in the legal profession right now. Because I think there is cause for optimism. I think that, you know, from AI to all the movement that's happening with getting rid of bullying and things like that. You had Stephanie on the show
Monday. Yes.
There's some really exciting things happening. We're making the profession more collaborative, more fun, more enjoyable, and I think there's a cause for optimism. So that's what I would love to see, and when I do see it, gets me really excited.
Fantastic and very cogent insights indeed there, Chris. Thanks for sharing that, my friend. Any young lawyers or young professionals watching, what would you like to say to them and help them be illumined from watching our stream today, Law Live?
Yeah, I think you've probably heard about all the problems in law, but I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of great things about being a lawyer as well. And there are people like me and others that are working on fixing those things through technology. And I can say that I've been at the law for 12 years. It's been a hell of a ride, and I've enjoyed it. The moments have been extremely difficult, but I've grown so much, and it's an extremely worthwhile career. So if that's you and you're struggling about whether you want to work in law or not, then come find me, and I'll get you into our community and open your consciousness, I guess, to a new way of doing things.
A new world, a brave new world, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, be sure to reach out to Chris. Where are you hanging out most, my friend? Where can people find you?
Well, I've just moved to this new office in Clarence, just on Elizabeth Street. I can't really see, but yeah.
That's a lovely one. Is that the one overlooking Hyde Park?
It is, yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice little view here I'm seeing. I can see the church. And what else? Yeah. I can see some buildings over there. Yeah.
Good on you, mate. Like that's Clarence do a great job, and I love the there's a couple of locations. We were in Clarence and Castlereagh Street when we started, so it's definitely got some movers and shakers in the building. Yes, 133 Castlereagh, level 21.
And where are you now?
Oh, you can find us. We're at 1 Castlereagh Street, corner of Hunter and Pitt. So if you'd like to grab a coffee, we prefer Bean Bar, but you're more than welcome to come and see us, and we'll grab coffee at the illustrious and only Naked Duck on Castlereagh Street. But there is one in Haymarket, which I found out the other day because I had to run there to meet a client who'd booked at the Naked Duck, but it was at the one in Haymarket. That was a fun run. But nonetheless, this is a little bit of a philosophical question, and so you can be as thoughtful as you like to be, Chris. When all is said and done, how would you like to be remembered?
Well, I'm dead, so I'm dead. I don't really mind.
Very cynical, very morbid. I like it.
I'm dead. I mean, I'd like to be remembered while I'm alive for a while, and then when I'm dead, I don't really care, to be honest with you.
You won't even know. Like I remember talking to a lawyer. I said, how would you feel if someone, I was one of my polls, I think. I said, how would you feel if people spoke ill about you when you're dead? And he goes, well, I wouldn't really know because I'm not here. So I don't really care.
I'm not here, I'm dead.
So I thought that was quite good. The other thing was that people will still be wanting my signature even when I'm on in the open casket, like getting the hand out. Like, can you sign this, mate? But I think it's that whole, people often say, oh, Cullen, you're very positive, but you're quite morbid when you speak about things. I think Wayne Dyer, one of my mentors who's passed away since, he once said, if only people knew from the day that they were born that they're actually dying and one step closer to the day they're going, maybe they'd live life. And I think we just need to remind that we won't be here for forever. So make the most of it while you're here. We all come in with a return ticket.
So true. I see a lot of books behind you. I think everyone wants to know what Cullen's been reading, I think.
I'll tell you what I'm reading at the moment. It's a bit of a tome. It's but I don't know if it's a very popular to be Russian, but it's a Russian author, Vadim Zeland, Reality Transurfing. It's quite a heady read, but it's all about how the decisions in your life. It's quite physics based. Like every decision you make creates another kind of alternative reality. And the thing that you want in life, you've got a goal. That's a line or a reality that you have to find. But most people get themselves twisted in knots because things aren't happening, and then it's not going in the direction. And funnily enough, paradoxically, they close themselves off to those opportunities because they're worried about it. The ironic thing is when you don't worry about those things and you just focus on what you're doing, like example, Rightful, the right people come into your life because you're open to it. The right opportunities come into your life because you're open to it. And those alternative realities, which were just possibilities, become actual reality and manifested. It's very interesting. I'd highly recommend it. There's a couple
It's sort of like the old,
yeah.
It's like the old parable about chasing butterflies. If you
Tell me
chase a
more.
butterfly, if you chase a butterfly, you'll never catch it, but turn around, it'll come and rest on your shoulder.
I love that. That's a very nice way to end the official part of the stream. Stop chasing butterflies.
Stop chasing butterflies, Colin.
I will. I'm going to stop doing it now. Let me tell you. But nonetheless, we'll bring you back for some bonus questions, Chris. But thank you so much for being on Law Live and sharing all the wonderful things you're doing as a barrister, but at Rightful as well.
Great. I'm happy to be here, and the pleasure's been mine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And if you're a legend of law or know someone who is, please feel free to get in contact. We come out every Wednesday, interviewing a legend of law on our Law Live. Thank you for tuning into the stream, and we'll upload this to wherever you get your podcast later. Bye for now, everyone. Take care. Bringing you back, Chris, we've got a couple of bonus questions, s'il vous plaît, if we can. If you could explain your role to a child, a 6-year-old, how would you do that?
I do law stuff.
Very law.
I don't know. I help people with their arguments.
That's good. That's simple. If I was a child, I'd probably understand that. Benji would look at me going, "What's going on?" But yes, that's very simple. Very good. This is another good question that you can, as I said, you can answer it as candidly or tongue-in-cheek as you'd like. But if you could give yourself advice at any age, go back in time. What age would you go back to and visit yourself at? And what would the advice that you'd give yourself be?
Yeah. Well, I had a very pivotal moment when I worked on a drilling rig in Hawaii. I tell you that when I was 19.
Wow.
And yeah. So I did that, and I wasn't sure I was going to come back to Australia. And my mum called me up and she said, "I think you should come back and study law. I miss you." And I'm like, I miss you too, but I'm having so much fun, blah, blah, blah. And I'd love to go back to myself at that age and just tell myself what would happen, making that choice to come back to Australia. I think it was, you know, I was making so much money. I was living the life in Hawaii. It was crazy work, but it was a lot of fun. And I thought, well, why would I go study? Being a student, but I think if I could go back to that age and say, look, this is the harder path, but it will lead to all these things, it would be a very interesting journey that I'd go from there.
My goodness, mate. I couldn't imagine you on a drilling rig. I'm getting visions of someone calling you up for NASA to explode some rockets, Armageddon. Like, this is the start of the movie. They're all on a drilling rig. My goodness, what a life you've led.
I have a tendency to seek out like really hard things to do and work on. I don't know why. But yeah, it was really intense actually working on a drilling rig. We had this thing called the tongs, right? Where if you want to get the next piece of drill bit, you've got to stick, they're about 70 kilos, and you've got to stick them on the drill bit, and there's bentonite mud spewing out of it, and it's just so heavy. And the guys would work like in a monsoon. They didn't even care, like if it was pouring down rain. So you'd be carrying these heavy tongs to stick on the drill bit. And the drill bit itself is like extremely dangerous. Like it won't stop for anyone. So if you get caught in it, you're gone. So it was a lot of fun though. You know, how you become a man is to work on those sorts of things.
Not only are you the fintech barrister, you're definitely the only rigger barrister or oil rig barrister. There is no doubt.
Well, I mean, I hear all kinds of really interesting stories. Like Damien Tui, for example, is an airline
pilot.
pilot and a barrister. Yeah. So everyone's
There
got a
was,
few.
there was an article in the Lawyers Weekly where it said someone's been struck off and they were a pilot and a lawyer.
I
And
know.
they said, Damien, was this you? And he goes, no, that was not me, Cullen.
I said the same thing to him. I bet you probably got 100 messages that day from people.
Are you okay? What did you do? Like, what's happened?
Yeah, we know this is you.
But definitely, if you don't know Damien, everyone, get on his LinkedIn. He said when he flies over the world, he sends a nice photo from the cockpit. Literally, one of the bar's high flyers, pun intended, please.
It's just, I find it really inspiring because I'll be in the middle of something and then there's a picture of him having flown over, London, or a picture of him on his motorcycle. I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's where I want to be in 10 years. I want to be doing that.
You will be, mon ami. You will be. Just don't chase any butterflies and let it come to you.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks for being part of the stream, my friend. And thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you. Pleasure's been all mine, Cullen.
Good man. Thank you, Mr. Dobbs. Speak soon.
Speak soon.